Hello friends, welcome back. I recently came across this quote which goes like this: traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. On this beautiful note, let's begin the second part of my wheelchair trip. In the second part of the video, we will be covering Udupi, Kumbashi, Suryabettu, Moodbidre, Dharmasthala, Kukke Subramanya. To start with, like I mentioned in the part 1 of the video, we finished our Sringeri visit and reached Udupi and we rested there in Kidyur Hotel. Regarding Kidyur Hotel, it was a very comfortable place for us to stay, but it has 7 steps to get inside. Let me explain a little bit more in detail here. What happens is, once you get inside the parking lot, you can see there are 3 steps at one level and 4 steps at another. So I had to shift in my manual wheelchair, and then the hotel people and my family members lifted the wheelchair for those 7 steps. It was not that difficult, but once you get inside, it is easily connected with the lift. And the hotel people were very generous enough to take care of my power wheelchair at the night times when we stayed there, helped us in charging the power wheelchair as well. So I felt it was a good decision to stay at this hotel. Our third day trip started with Udupi Sri Krishna temple, which was very near to the hotel, walkable distance again. Once we reached the temple, we parked our vehicle in the parking lot and we took both the wheelchairs. To get inside the Udupi Sri Krishna temple, you will have one ramp plus 4 steps. Let me explain here. Once you get inside the temple, you need to go to a building called Geeta Nivas. In front of that building only you will find a ramp which will take you to the main temple building. Once you get inside the ramp, you will get these 4 small steps, rather 2 steps first. Hence I had to shift into my manual wheelchair, where the temple people guided us further to the actual place where the idol is present. And then there comes a threshold, which is again the other 2 steps which I mentioned. So in the manual wheelchair only, the people around helped us to lift those 4 steps, and after that it was a direct entry to the place where the god is placed. It was a clear darshan. You will get inside directly, and we finished the darshan and we took prasad and sat there for some time in the campus. After the temple darshan, we had breakfast and we started to Malpe beach. Malpe beach is also known as white sand beach and very clean one indeed. We covered Malpe beach in 2 parts. The first part is where you can see the St. Mary's Island, and in terms of wheelchair accessibility there is a proper road, connected road with the cemented road as well. So, but as we know that power wheelchairs will usually have difficulties in getting into sand. So I didn't get into sand, but there I parked my wheelchair somewhere where there were benches, plus there was a little bit of sand. So in that way I was able to spend my time there, and my parents all, they visited around. And the second part of the Malpe beach is located 1.5 kilometer away from this main beach. The speciality here is they have constructed a lane which is in the middle of the water, which means like both the sides there is water, and in the middle they have constructed a road up to certain level, so you can go till the end and you will get a feeling that you are standing inside the water, but that is not wheelchair accessible. You can only reach up to the place where waters is clearly visible, but it is a good place. Like from at beach you will see the water is very far, but at this part you can actually see the crabs and all playing around in the water. So there also we had some fun time, and then somebody there suggested us a place called Kumbashi Anegudi temple. This was not part of our earlier plan, but since the people there recommended like you have a visit there, we spent some time on this beach and we immediately started for this temple. Anegudi temple is 30 kilometers from Malpe beach, so we were able to reach there very fast. As the name itself suggests, Anegudi means elephant god residing on the top of the mountain. So to get there it is very easy, roads are good, and even the parking place in front of the temple was very huge, so we had no problem in getting a parking and for a wheelchair at all. Once we got down, the temple is accessible. I was able to go straight inside the main campus, and from the main campus only you can have the darshan of the god. After completing the Annaprasad, we rested for an hour at the temple campus, and then we started towards Suribettu. Suribettu is not a tourist place as such, but we had a very close family friend there, Mr. Satyanarayan Adiga. So we had planned to visit their house during this trip. It was a very beautiful visit, I can say, because it's a typical Malenadu Mane, where there is a vegetable patch, a garden, a farm, everything in an house. So for us it was a first time experience where we have visited such a house. We spent some time with the kids there playing around, and they had installed a sprinkler system in their garden. So towards evening they switched on the sprinkler system, and it was looking very beautiful that now we also have an idea to install it in our house. In our native here. The farm, we could also see a peacock playing around. So I think this was a lifetime experience, and auntie made us some nice snacks to eat in the evening, and we just enjoyed the whole evening in the water, in the fountain water, and we just returned to the hotel to rest for the night. Next day we started a bit early with an intention to cover more than 2 places. So we started our journey towards Moodbidre, which is 56 kilometers from Udupi, and we reached to visit the 1000 pillar temple there. We reached Moodbidre, and I saw that it was not accessible. It had too many steps. Even with manual wheelchair, it was difficult. So I didn't go inside, but my parents and my brother visited the temple. We started towards Dharmasthala from there. Dharmasthala is 53 kilometers from Moodbidre, and Dharmasthala was on a family wish list for quite some time, mainly for 3 reasons. First, Shiva being a family god. Second one, I had watched Dharmasthala in Nat Geo video documentary of Mega Kitchens few years ago, and from that time I always wanted to see how they do it, and what is the process and all, how do they follow it, and also I was always curious. And the third reason being, personally I am a fan of Dr. D. Virendra Hegde for his accomplishments, and also I always wonder how can a person with so much responsibilities be so calm always, and always so soft spoken in any kind of situation. So I wanted to visit this place from quite long time now. On reaching Dharmasthala, we were allowed to take our car towards the temple, and I got down there, and our car returned to the parking place. Once we got down, to get inside the main temple, it has lot of steps, but there are 3 mediums which you can get inside. One is if you have a little capability to walk, to climb some stairs, you can use a special lane which is direct entry. Second one is if you have difficulty in walking or due to knee problem, you can use a staircase lift which is available there. You can sit on that chair, and the people there will guide you. And the third one which I used, they use a dolly, which is a wooden chair as shown in the picture. I got down from my power wheelchair to this chair, and the temple authorities, they lifted the whole chair only inside the temple campus and directly towards the darshan, and I had the darshan, and they took me out again. Once I came out, I got back into my power wheelchair. After the darshan, we went for a lunch at Annapurna. We had our lunch, and we spent some time visiting the campus of the temple. And later we went to visit Manjusha Car Museum, which was my another interest. People who love cars and antique vehicles, this is a celebration for them. You can have a visit. This is completely accessible, so without any problem we could visit all the campus around. And after that we started to Kukke Subramanya. Kukke Subramanya is 55 kilometers from Dharmasthala. Known for its Subramanya temple, And also for me, the special attraction was the Gopuram, which is surrounded by the trees as shown in the picture. I always wanted to see that. It's indeed it's very beautiful there when you see in actual. For the darshan, it was a bit difficult for me to go inside the temple because the steps inside Kukke Subramanya was downwards. So even sitting on a manual wheelchair and getting downwards is a bit difficult. So I chose to skip this temple because we were all already tired, and it would have been a huge effort to do all this exercise. And my parents visited, and I visited around the temple, the market, and we tried to search for an alternative way to see if we could get inside easily, but we couldn't find one. Therefore, after darshan, we immediately started towards Bangalore, and we reached Bangalore somewhere in the midnight, close to 12, I guess. And this is how our 4-day trip got completed. Coming to few experiences to share, this trip was actually best learning for me. I was very skeptical before I started this trip because I was thinking most of it was temples. I don't know if they'll be accessible or not, and the people who I asked around, they didn't know whether it was accessible or not. So before I started, I just thought like, okay, I'll just start it with zero expectation and let's see what happens. So only when I started visiting, I came to know that there are alternative ways, there are ramps, people have, like, things have developed so much now. And out of all the 9 temples we visited, there was only 2 temples which was completely not accessible. Others were either completely accessible or accessible to a extent where you can have the darshan of the god without any problem. So I suggest, like, not to totally think that we should go or not go kind of a question, but always take a risk take a calculated risk, I'll say, and start your trips. And I am sure that apart from the things which you will miss, the whole journey will always be a memorable one. The second point is, for this trip, for the first time, we carried our own water. We carried a 20-liter can with us. The reason, this was a suggestion given by us from one of our neighbor, Mrs. Prafulla. A huge thanks to her. The reason we carried this water with us was we were going to different places where the water will vary, and none of us wanted to fall sick once we returned from there. So having our own water, it helped us not to get our throat infection and all. And also the best part which I liked was we didn't leave any litter there buying the bottles and all. This is also a personal request through this video which I'll make. Carry your own water if it's feasible for you. It will not only save money, but it will also have less litter in the tourism places. Let's keep India clean. Before I conclude, a huge shout to Upendra, the person who drove our car, and to my brother. They are the one who helped me to take the lot of pictures and videos. And to my parents, they helped me to plan and ultimately execute this trip. And also to my friend Venu, who recommended Belur. Though I always knew it's an historical site, but I never thought to go there unless, like, he always pushed me, like, you have to visit once, you have to visit once. So thanks to him as well. As usual, you'll find all the links for the hotels and the details of any references which I have made in this video in the description. You can have a visit there. And if you like the content and if you are a regular watcher of my videos, I request you to subscribe to the channel. This will help the channel to grow. And thanks a lot for your time, and I always welcome suggestions and comments for the improvement of the videos. Thanks a lot.